This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. announces a new program to help moderate-income Virgin Islanders achieve home ownership. Fewer and fewer residents have been able to afford housing in the VI, so this new home ownership program is called VI Slice. Governor Bryan announced details of the program alongside representatives of local banks. It's all to help first-time home buyers secure financing to become homeowners through a partnership between VI government and local banks that will be administered through the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority. The VI Slice Moderate Income Homeownership Program aims to establish opportunities that may increase homeownership rates among moderate income households in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
The whole point of this program is to establish gap financing that puts you in a home. Now, I know what you're saying. I make too much income. That's simply not true. In this program, you can make up to $242,000 in St. Thomas and $260,000 in St. John, as well as $216,000 in St. Croix. So it's a program not only designed for workforce housing to house our teachers, our policemen, our other professionals that work in the program in our community, but also to be able to attract people from the states in order to do it.
The program allows for conventional purchases of the homes or renovation of homes. It also allows for construction from the ground up. Finally, we also allow piece in reference to where we can assist you with a down payment if you're purchasing a home outright yourself. Now, to be part of this program, you have to qualify for conventional mortgage, but we will provide the gap financing. So this is a gap financing program that turns into a grant after you live in that property for 10 years. So again, how the program works, you would go to the bank will qualify you for a certain amount. Let's say you were short $20,000 in your down payment, the bank will refer the package to us, we will review the package, and then we will finance that $20,000 that you're short. The bank will place a conventional mortgage on the property, we will place a soft second mortgage, and after 10 years that mortgage will fall out.
To qualify, you must have lived in the Virgin Islands for 3 years, currently or prior, or have been born in the VI. For more information, head to our website, usvicbs.com. On St. Thomas, VIPD's Operation Overwatch, a VIPD-led anti-violent crime operation, yields multiple arrests. On Wednesday, members of the VIPD Special Operations Bureau and Intel Unit conducted surveillance in the area of Bovoni. During the operation, officers made contact with that man, 29-year-old Liz Bryan, who refused to comply with the orders of the officers on the scene, according to police. Officers say they took Bryan into custody using less lethal force after he tried to get away. Once detained, officers discovered Bryan was in possession of a machine gun with a 50-round drum attached, as well as a 9mm handgun in the glove box of his vehicle with several extended magazines loaded to capacity with bullets. Bryan is in jail and facing several weapons charges. Also on Wednesday, officers of the Operation Overwatch Task Force arrested 29-year-old Michael Fred after they pulled him over for a heavily tinted car with a tinted license plate cover 2 in the Belongo Bay area. Officers initiated a traffic stop, and Fred was in possession of marijuana after they found several baggies of pot packaged for sale. Fred is facing drug charges, and he is now in the prison awaiting his hearing. Also on Wednesday night, members of the Operation Overwatch Task Force arrested this man, 33-year-old LaShorn Samuel, after they pulled him over for a routine traffic stop. Officers say they knew he was a known felon, patted him down, where they found 2 magazines with the capacity to hold 15 rounds in each magazine, as well as a small bag of marijuana. Police say after a search of the vehicle, they found a radio scanner and a Glock handgun under the driver's seat. Samuel's facing illegal gun possession charges. As we round out the week, COVID-19 cases remain steady in the USVI and continue to decline. There are currently 44 active COVID cases territory-wide, with a bit of a spike on St. Croix. 38 active cases there right now, just 4 on St. Thomas and 2 active cases on St. John. Meantime, a CDC advisory committee is recommending the COVID vaccine be added to the immunization schedule for children and adults. Children 6 months and older, as well as adults, are encouraged to get the COVID vaccine plus boosters when they are eligible. The schedule is meant to help guide doctors in determining when to administer vaccinations, particularly for children. This includes vaccinations for polio, measles, whooping cough, and tetanus. With inflation taking a big bite out of Americans' wallets, a rare bit of good news from the IRS. Under new rules, most people who file tax returns should get to keep more money in their pockets next year. Tom Costello breaks it all down.
It's the biggest automatically triggered change to standard IRS deductions since 1985 and could mean you'll keep more of your money during tax year 2023, which starts in January. Here's why. Under federal law, tax brackets and standard deductions are tied to inflation, now running at 40-year highs. For the vast majority of Americans taking the standard IRS deduction, those deductions are set to rise. For individuals, the standard deduction will jump $900 to nearly $14,000 for tax year 23. For married couples, the deduction jumps $1,800 to nearly $28,000. And there's a good chance you'll drop to a lower tax bracket, allowing you to save even more money.
These are the taxes that you're going to pay in 2024. This does not impact the taxes you have to pay in April. This is for the 2023 tax year, for the taxes that you'll pay the next year.
Here's the bracket breakdown. For couples filing jointly, the 22% tax rate starts at $83,550 this year. But next year, it won't kick in until joint income exceeds $89,450. The 24% rate also slides higher, from $178,000 this year to income over $190,750,000 next year. And the 37% tax bracket will only affect income over $693,750 rather than $647,850. A big savings for the highest income earners.
And there's good news for families. The tax credit for those with 3 or more children will increase by almost $500. And for most of these changes, you shouldn't have to do anything. Your tax bracket and withholding should just adjust automatically in the new year. Unfortunately, consumers can expect to pay more for their Thanksgiving meals this year. The American Farm Bureau Federation is reporting a significant increase on turkeys alone. Courtney Crown shares this holiday outlook.
Farm Bureau is reporting record high prices for turkey this year.
Some of the items, such as your frozen, basted turkeys commonly used for Thanksgiving dinner, have increased in price between 28 and 32% compared to this time last year.
Boneless, skinless turkey breast prices soared to $6.70 per pound, which is a 112% increase over this time last year. Farm Bureau says this is the highest price in history. The previous record high price was $5.88 per pound, set in 2015 during the avian influenza outbreak.
If a frozen turkey is what you're accustomed to getting, go ahead and, get that maybe a little bit earlier if you have room for it in the freezer.
Experts say there will be enough turkeys to go around this year, but another round of highly pathogenic avian influenza is driving up prices. The state's Poultry Association says this sickness has not impacted turkeys since last February in Indiana, but the influenza is in 41 states currently.
It's widespread. All that said, we do not expect that disease incident to affect the supply of turkeys at Thanksgiving.
The State Poultry Association and the Farm Bureau remind consumers higher costs of birds does not mean more money is going to farmers.
From fuel, we've had fertilizer that is used to grow the grains that feed the birds. It has had an effect on what we have to pay for our labor.
Reaction today is pouring in after British Prime Minister Liz Truss announced she is resigning less than 2 months onto the job. Her tumultuous 6-month term in office was marked by policies that rocked the financial markets and led to outrage among lawmakers, including those within her own party. Ian Lee reports from London.
A crowd gathered outside the Prime Minister's office in London, angry that the Conservative Party will soon have its third Prime Minister in a matter of months.
It's just a cycle of rubbish, and they replace rubbish with more rubbish.
Liz Truss, who got the job in early September, announced that she will be resigning, and in doing so becomes the shortest-serving Prime Minister in British history.
Given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party.
She will be remembered as the last prime minister to ever meet the Queen. But the Conservative leader will also be remembered for a massively criticized budget of tax and spending cuts that spooked the markets and sent the pound plunging, forcing Truss to fire her finance minister and reverse those cuts.
The impact it's had on ordinary working people in this country, seeing our bills go up, seeing our mortgage go up, so people are really, really suffering in this country, and I think that's the real story here.
The Conservative Party says it will choose a successor by the end of next week as calls grow for a general election.
That's the choice now, a stable Labour government or this utter chaos from the Conservatives.
Truss said she will remain in office until a successor is chosen.